You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. Boys, it's been a while since we've been in the studio because we had a little summer break. So this one might be a little bumpy, but it's going to be a great one.
It's always good to prepare them for what's about to happen.
Yeah, we basically forgot how to podcast. It's kind of going to be like when you're driving down the road and you get one of those roads that's about to be resurfaced and it's got like the frosting of the road ripped off.
Yep. We left Neil at a rest stop about 10 miles back.
The pavement?
Yeah, the pavement. Yeah,
asphalt.
If the road is a cake, that would be the frosting.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It is the most delicious part of the road.
So a lot of stuff has happened this summer. We had a great time over at SporkleCon, and we want to thank Mark Adams for inviting us. And thank you to the people who came out to our event. It was actually over 100 people. So pleasantly surprised, and it was a great event. We got cut a little short because we went too long.
Yep, but we also had a change of venue. We were supposed to be outside,
and
it was raining, and we were inside, but it all worked out. Their team
so
was
many people,
very professional.
Great reception. So thanks. And all the prizes from that game have been mailed out. So if you won something, that should be in the mail. And before we continue, really quick, we also want to give a special birthday shout out to Jacob Hoganson. And thanks to Marissa, his girlfriend, for reaching out and letting us know that it's his birthday, because we always want to wish people a happy birthday if we can.
Yeah. You're another year older, a little wiser. We've come back. For you,
we're
didn't
a
even
year
know
older and much less wise.
Right. I was going to say, you didn't even know we were gone. You're not going to miss a week here because, we're very dedicated to our fans, but we're older.
Yes.
Certainly not wise.
So our wisdom has dropped, but you know what's been on the up and up?
Charisma?
The Patreon numbers.
Oh!
And we actually did finally hit our 600 Patreon members.
Hey.
And Stephanie, you were the 600th Patreon supporter. Thank you so much for your support. Please send us an email and we'll send you what you want from the store, as we promised, right?
And we said we would maybe send someone a gift. So we've decided if you wanted to get something from our Triviality merch store, that you can pick out what you'd like.
That's right.
So thank you for your support. Thank you all for your support. It means a lot to us.
Yes. And we have two supporters on the show with us as well. And you might notice a little absence today before we get into that. Neil is not here. He's working on, probably his next book.
I thought you said abscess.
No, absence. Not abscess. But sometimes that's what we consider, Neil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've excised him.
So you might notice there's a little absence here in the room. Neil is not with us today. He's running behind writing his next book because he thought he had to write with a quill and ink. But I informed him he can, in fact, type it. So
it turns out that the glass bottle was the hold up there.
Yeah.
He had the other things down. He just didn't have a proper container.
Correct. But we have great, replacements for him today. Number one, we have our guest player today. That's going to be Gill from Connecticut. Thank you for your $5 support, Oakland 5 supporter. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I am very excited to be here.
I should say welcome back to the show because you're a returning champ.
Returning champ and Schitt's Creek champ.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself for the audience.
I'm Gill. I'm from Connecticut. I live here with my husband and my 2 kids and my 2 cats, who you may see, not the listeners, but you guys might see during this episode.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us again. You're going to team up with Jeff because you have a record to defend. And Matt and I have a record to defend, a losing record, but a record nonetheless. And the man who will be supplying the questions today is Jay Smith. Welcome to the show. And thank you for your $10 Savage Superstar support.
Oh, happy to be here. Happy to support you all as well.
Yeah. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I currently live in San Francisco, California. I'm originally Texan. I guess technically still Texan, but I don't live there anymore. I have a dog here. Hopefully you don't hear her. I gave her a treat that should keep her occupied for a while. That's something to look forward to. Hopefully that quiet podcast. I like a lot of different things, especially pub trivia. So this is why I started listening to this podcast, and now I'm hooked.
That's awesome. We're glad to have you. Thank you so much. I look forward to getting today's game, Ken. But
Speaking of dogs, any news, Jeff?
yes, I guess I have news. I rescued a pup. Not me.
Not physically.
Not me. I guess
you took one
I
home.
guess
Where was
both
this
of us
pup?
are responsible
That's
for
rescue.
rescuing another dog.
You make it
So-
sound like you bandage his wounds.
No.
On the side of a road.
No, our family has grown to 2 happy rescue pups as of this week. So it's a little crazy.
And what else, Jeff?
And what else?
Did you get married?
I did get married.
Congrats, Jeff.
Well
Well done.
That
Well
was
done.
part of the summer break.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Indeed,
So
congrats.
yeah. So
Is that why we were in Michigan?
that's why Matt. That is why you were in attendance at my wedding. Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's because I got married. So yeah. Hence the extended summer break this year.
I thought we were there for the red pandas.
The red pandas, as adorable as
The
they
star
were,
of the show.
were not supposed to be the highlight. But I understand. I get it. No offense taken.
All right, so we're going to need some team names before we get started. So Jill and Jeff, what are you going to do?
Yeah, Ken and I were talking about how we were, gonna, just
Push on through
push
this
on through
episode.
today because we haven't done this in a while, but we're confident we still know how. And I don't know why, but it took me back to a very confident young snowplow that I enjoyed reading as a child.
This is a childhood book. that
Yeah,
you read.
it's Katie and the Big Snow, and Jill apparently has recollections of that as well. So we're gonna be Katie the Snowplow.
Because you forgot the name of the book originally.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't really matter. I mean, all that matters was Katie.
Well, Matt, there's only one thing left to do. We're going to be Mr. Plow. That's our name. Our name again is Mr. Plow. So let's get the rules from Darren.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
I am the cream.
Good to hear from him. It's been a while. And let's get to the game. We're excited to play.
All right, so let's do round 1. So I mentioned that I'm from Texas, lived there most of my life, and one of the most iconic pop culture exports from Texas is a Fox show that ran from 1997 to 2009 called King of the Hill. It is getting a revival on Hulu, slated for next year at some point, with most all the cast returning. And so these questions are going to be somewhat themed after it. Don't worry, you don't have to necessarily be a King of the Hill fan to get these answers. So
I like it.
Do I need to love propane though?
Yes. Required.
Okay.
I'll forgive you if you don't, but I'm not sure that Hank will.
Fair enough.
All right, so question 1. This one is themed after Hank. Hank Hill is the patriarch of the family. He may be the most famous Hank out there, except for maybe Tom Hanks, who is a prolific actor with an enormously long list of roles. He has even won 2 Best Actor awards back-to-back for Philadelphia and Forrest Gump. He also appeared in a music video, I Really Like You, by this 2010s musician. She also has a habit of giving away contact information early into meeting someone.
All right, Jill. So I think someone who was really desperate to give away their contact information kind of reminds me of a little 2012 song, Call Me Maybe by Carly
That's
Rae
what I was
Jepsen.
thinking.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to lock that in. I think she's a good fit.
I agree.
Matt, is that what we said?
That is what we said.
All right, and that is the right answer, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Good start. Good
And a
start
fantastic
coming back from the
twist
summer.
in the video. Love it.
Exactly. That was, I always wondered if maybe Tom Hanks had, like, somebody had his cat held hostage or something, and that's why he agreed to the music video, but who knows?
Because he's a fun guy, much like his contemporary Atom Shank.
Exactly. All right, question 2, Peggy. Peggy is Hank's wife and is a substitute Spanish teacher, despite having probably some of the worst Spanish you will ever hear. This might be because she is not a native Texan, but rather hails from Montana. Another famous Montanan is Jeanette Rankin, who was the only U.S. House member to vote against what activity in the 1940s?
All right, given that it's the 1940s, something's popping out at me, so we're going to lock in.
Jill, I feel like she was very progressive and was potentially a pacifist, so I don't know if she was like the one vote withstanding for declaring war on Japan.
That was my thought too.
Okay.
With the time.
That's what we'll lock in with.
And that's what I said as well. Abstain from declaring war.
And that is absolutely correct. She was the lone vote in the House against declaring war against Japan.
Nice. Very good start. I'm excited.
Question 3. Bobby Hill is the only son of the Hill family. He isn't athletic like Hank, but is very comfortable in his own skin. His goal is to be a comedian. Another famous comedian named Bobby is comedian Bobby Lee. While we don't hear much from him anymore, he was a major cast member on this Saturday Night Live competitor that aired on Saturdays as well, which was canceled in 2009 but had a brief revival in 2016.
Yep. I think we're good, Jill.
So the main SNL competitor I can think of was Mad, right?
Yeah, he was a later cast member. He wasn't part of the like Will Sasso and all the rest from the earlys. I remember him being on the show though.
Okay, that's what we'll say.
Jill?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I have a long-standing debate with a friend of mine of which one is better, Mad TV or SNL. But for this answer, it's Mad TV.
And you're correct. That is Mad TV, which is, as I mentioned off air, and SNL is celebrating its 50-year anniversary. So just saying, when it comes to that debate.
I was also really sad because when I was a kid, I found out it starred Michael McDonald, but I thought it was the Yamo Be There guy.
Oh, yeah, that is disappointing. As a child.
And a big fan of yacht rock.
Sure.
You thought like a famous yacht rocker was doing comedy on the side?
Yeah, right. Let's get the next question.
All right. So number 4, Lady Bird. Lady Bird is the family dog in King of the Hill. She is named after Lady Bird Johnson, the former First Lady of the USA. Lady Bird Johnson died in Texas almost 20 years ago. In honor of her, Austin named Town Lake to Lady Bird Lake. Lady Bird is not her real name, though. Go figure. She shares her first name with a German model who is married to Matthew Vaughn. What is her first name?
All right, we're going to lock in. We're not exactly sure who's married to Matthew Vaughn, but we have a decent guess, I think.
What do you think, Jill?
I got nothing for this one.
Okay. I think it's Claudia. If I remember right.
So Claudia was my first thought as far as like the
Only there
model.
was a model named Claudia.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
assuming
it's
Claudia
fine.
Schiffer is German.
But can you think of a famous model?
Named Claudia? I can't. No.
Claudia Johnson.
Or as autocorrect said, Claudia Shifter.
So
I said, you know what I mean. Autocorrect's killing me lately, guys. It's getting worse.
apologies on all of the messed up show notes because I'm not the world's best speller, but I feel like autocorrect is betraying
It's
me
getting
more
worse.
lately.
It's getting worse, guys.
always-
This
he
episode
always
sponsored by
grabs me.
Apple's autocorrect technology. So you guys
He
are going
grabs
with
a man.
Claudia?
I
I
feel
would agree.
pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll say it like the guy from Assassin's Creed says it. Claudia.
That is correct. Claudia Schiffer is married to Matthew Vaughn, and Claudia Alta Taylor is Lady Bird Johnson's full name.
All right.
Number 5, Arlen, Texas. Arlen is the setting of King of the Hill, but it is not a real Texas town. The real world location of King of the Hill is disputed due to a lot of contradictory information. For example, there will be zip codes that don't align with the area codes that are mentioned. We do know that Arlen is about 3 hours away from this Texan city where Hank's famous musician cousin, Dusty Hill, lived.
Well, we're pretty much guessing a Texas city, Matt. So
Yeah.
I don't think our conversation will will spoil anything. So you just want to say Dallas?
I was thinking Dallas. He's a big Cowboys fan, so I'm guessing it'd be something close. So
Let's just go Dallas then.
So unfortunately, my husband and I have been talking about rewatching King of the Hill for a long time and haven't gotten around to it yet. So I don't remember.
Okay.
But
I mean, something.
Dallas would be my first choice because Texas.
Yeah, I would say not. Usually, your big three are like Dallas, Austin, and Houston. No offense, San Antonio,
But suck it.
or El Paso,
Lubbock.
Lubbock.
There's just a few cities.
I like Dallas.
I say let's go with our first thought.
Yeah.
All right, 2 Dallases.
Well, sadly, no points here because Hank's famous cousin Dusty Hill is the same Dusty Hill of ZZ Top fame, and they are famously from Houston.
Oh,
Very famously, to me.
Yep.
But
they're Canadian.
that concludes the first 5 questions. The game is tied 40-40, so you could say it's anybody's game because it literally is anybody's game.
You could say 40 love.
It's not Neil's game because he's not playing. Let's get question 6.
Question 6, propane. Hank sells propane and propane accessories. Propane is a gas compound of C3H8. It is often used in barbecue pits, but it has many other uses. Bobby once asked Hank about propane, and he lists a few other uses, including the curing of this Virginia cash crop.
All right, we have a guess here, and we're going to lock in.
I've never heard of this application of it, Jill. I think they're starting to use propane in refrigerants now because it has a lower overall environmental impact. But I mean, when I think of Virginia cash crops, I kind of think of tobacco. I don't know if
That was my first thought, actually.
Okay. Lock it in.
All right,
I'd love to see the cash crop of refrigerators just growing in the fields. But
we're not going to say wacky tobacco. We're just going to go with normal tobacco.
And both teams have it. It is tobacco.
Nice.
Question 7, all about barbecue. Barbecue is a Texan tradition. As a native Texan, I can definitely tell you that I miss it a lot. We see a lot of barbecue references in King of the Hill. However, we actually don't see Hank barbecuing all that often. We do see him grill a lot, though. What is the main difference between grilling and barbecuing?
All right, Jill's got a guess here, so they're locked in. We're thinking maybe smoke or maybe an open flame. What do you want to do?
I kind of like when you think of like barbecuing and they have like a smoker. That's what it is. It's in the closed smoke. So I think that's the distinction between. It's always like the mesquite flavor. I think that comes from the smoke.
All right, that's fair to me. I like it. Jill?
That's a good guess. My thought was like the amount of time spent.
Low and slow. Gotcha.
Ooh, Jay's nodding.
Yep, they got it. That is the difference, is the speed and temperature at which the food is cooked.
So time is the correct answer.
Yes, yeah. Barbecue tends to be cooked at a lower temperature over a longer period of time.
Much like comedy, it's all about
Timing.
Oh, perfect. That's from the delay, and they're in the studio. It's amazing.
All right, we're going to go to Dale, number 8. Dale is the conspiracy theorist on the show. He pretends to be a soldier of fortune and has very interesting conspiracy theories about extraterrestrials, the government, and the Super Bowl. It is a bit ironic that he never pieces together that his wife is cheating on him. Cheating is something that you shouldn't be caught doing at a casino. Macau is often called the Vegas of the East. It's a part of China, but was once colonized by this European country whose capital sounds kind of like a tea brand.
Yeah, we can lock in, Jill. We're good.
Sounds like a tea brand.
Ken likes to go golfing here. He's a big
Lipton
golfist.
Sounds like Lisbon.
Lipton does sound like Lisbon. Portugal?
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
All right.
Yeah, you guys are right. It was Portuguese.
Yep, Macau was part of Portugal or part of the Portugal Empire.
Hmm.
Number 9 is Bill. Bill is the sad bachelor friend of Hank and the guys. I feel like every show needs to have at least one. It is believed that when his wife left him, everything just kind of collapsed for him. It was interesting to see that he presumably comes from a very wealthy family in Louisiana. Fun fact, unlike most other states, Louisiana does not have counties. What administrative district does Louisiana have?
I can lock in here.
Yep.
This is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have parishes,
Okay.
Jill. I know Alaska also doesn't have counties, but I can't remember what that is. But it doesn't matter because parishes.
When
Yeah,
it
we
comes
said-
to anything with, oh, sorry, I was going to say, when it comes to anything with geography or like towns or states, I go to Jeff.
Me too. But Jeff is not available to me, so we're guessing parishes.
Parishes is correct.
And
And the
also,
last question
apologies if you hear any background noise. It seems that CM Punk and McGuire are having a strap match right above our heads right now. Isn't that right, Matt?
That is what continuously happens at your place.
It's the most Chicago thing that we know of.
I'm just going to drop little wrestling references until you catch on that I've been watching Raw.
Oh, yeah. It's moving to Netflix. Good time to get in. Perfect time.
Mm-hmm. Question 10 is Boomhauer. Boomhauer is famous for speaking in a manner that no one can really understand except for his friends. We do get a clip in one episode where we can hear him speak normally. In this episode, he and the guys get a job temporarily serving the city doing what? They weren't particularly good at the job, and I wouldn't buy a calendar.
Hey, Jill, you said you watched King of the Hill. Do you remember this episode or?
It's been a really long time. I was trying to think of what jobs might have calendars.
Podcasters.
Yeah.
As we keep tempting the listeners with.
No, there's a reason that podcast is an audio medium. But when I think of calendars, there's only two types I'm interested in. It's puppies and kitties and sexy firefighters. So
For different reasons.
Firefighters was like yes. I think that's a good answer.
Is that what we said, Matt?
Yeah, I think they were either volunteer or there was something where they joined the firefighting team. What are called? Firemen, I guess.
And that is correct. And I would not buy calendars of them while they are firefighters, but they were firefighters. So that finishes the King of the Hill round.
Time for a score recap before we enter the swing round. Matt, we have 80 points. It seems that we're as good of a team as Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. So we're doing pretty well with 80 points. Just a little bit better, much like Liv Morgan and Dirty Dom. You guys have 90 points.
I can't believe that I am now the minority in this group.
I knew Matt would appreciate this. I knew it.
It's kind of great, though.
Great references.
Thank you. Before we get to the swing round, we would like to invite you to join us on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can join us and get the ad-free version. And for $5 a month, you can get all that extra content that we put out. And it's actually weekly episodes on Patreon.
Yeah, weekly trivia episodes, except for the once a month where we interrupt you for our very special crop drops. Matt's brilliant stolen idea from
Ask
another
Me
podcast he
Anything.
really likes.
Every podcast ever. Yes.
Yeah, Ask Me Anything style, where we get into some real shenanigans. Yeah,
What does mermaid meat taste like?
I knew you were going to bring that up.
But other stuff
It's
too.
a fair question.
Other stuff too. It's that and more. So please join us on Patreon. Where can you find that, Jeff?
Patreon.com/trivialitypodcast.
All right, Jay, let's get the swing round.
All right. So this wing round is all about comedy. So, I love stand-up comedy. I think we all do. So why not have a round about that? I will name 10 comedy albums or specials. So Netflix, Comedy Central, HBO, their own specials. And I will also give you the name of 10 comedians. Your job is to match the comedian with the album or special.
All right, so we will put these in numbered order by the comedians. So let's get the list of comedians first.
All right. George Carlin, Chris Rock, Wanda Sykes, Ali Wong, Bill Hicks, John Mulaney, Taylor Tomlinson, Jeff Foxworthy, Mitch Hedberg, and Dave Chappelle.
Okay, and what are these special names?
Strategic Grill Locations, Baby J, Totally Committed, Quarter Life Crisis, Tambourine, Baby Cobra, For What It's Worth, Arizona Bay, What Happened to, comedian's name, and Class Clown.
All right, so there you have it. We will think about these, and we'll be right back.
It's the Disney Plus Blockbuster offer. For a limited time, get 3 months of Disney Plus for just $1.99 a month and watch huge hits like Inside Out 2.
Come on!
And Agatha All Along, streaming soon. Plus Bluey.
Yes!
And Descendants The Rise of Red. Get 3 months of Disney Plus for just $1.99 a month. All of these and more, now streaming. 18 plus only. New and eligible returning subscribers only. After 3 months Disney Plus Basic with ads auto renews, then current monthly retail price $9.99 per month until canceled. Offer ends 9/27/24. Terms apply.
Sergeant and Mr. Smith, you're gonna love this house.
Bunk beds in a closet?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
Earning your degree online doesn't mean you have to go about it alone. At Capella University, we're here to support you when you're ready. From enrollment counselors who get to know you and your goals, to academic coaches who can help you form a plan to stay on track. We care about your success and are dedicated to helping you pursue your goals. Going back to school is a big step, but having support at every step of your academic journey can make a big difference. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu.
And much like Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, we are back. You like that, Matt? This is all for you, Matt. This is all for you. Jay.
Ken has literally watched hundreds of hours of professional wrestling just to make Matt happy.
Yeah.
Jay.
Because he's a good friend.
Jay.
I'm acknowledging him right now.
Jay, we are ready for the swing round answers. So let's go ahead and run down this list one more time. So,
All right, 1, George Carlin.
We said For What It's Worth.
We said Class Clown.
And it is Class Clown. Number 2 would be Chris Rock.
This one we put Totally Committed.
We said What Happened blank.
Chris Rock had a not Comedy Central. Chris Rock had a Netflix special called Tambourine.
Ooh,
Oh boy.
that'll throw a wrench in this.
Number 3, Wanda Sykes.
This is not going to go good for us. We said Arizona Bay.
We said Totally Committed.
Wanda Sykes had an album called What Happened, Miss Sykes.
I think we're going to get some points on this one.
here we go. Here we go.
Number 4, Ali Wong.
The first baby on the list, Baby Cobra.
We also said Baby Cobra.
Baby Cobra is correct.
That's a good
Number
one.
5, Bill Hicks.
This one I had no idea. We said Tambourine.
We said Arizona Bay.
And you are correct. It is Arizona Bay. Number 6, John Mulaney.
Yep, we only listened to baby albums, Baby J.
Same. We also said Baby J.
And it is indeed Baby J. Number 7, Taylor Tomlinson.
I thought this might be Quarter Life Crisis.
We agree.
And it is Quarter Life Crisis. Number 8, Jeff Foxworthy.
This one seemed like it'd be a lame one, so we said Class Clown.
We said Tambourine for this one.
Jeff Foxworthy had an album called Totally Committed.
That makes sense.
Number 9, Mitch Hedberg.
This one we knew, Strategic Grill Locations.
Jeff also knew this one. Strategic Grill Location.
And indeed, it is Strategic Grill Locations. And finally, number 10, Dave Chappelle.
This is just wondering whatever happened to Dave Chappelle.
And we said for what it's worth.
And Dave Chappelle did For What It's Worth.
And for a quick score update, following that swing round, we raised our score by 20 points to an even 100. But the opposing team, Katie the Snowplow, right? Mm-hmm. You got 125 points. So taking a pretty commanding lead going into the second round.
All right. Well, let's jump into round 3 then. Why not? So this one is kind of a geography travel round. I once did a digital nomad type thing where I traveled to 11 different countries.
Cool.
This is, well, there's only 10 questions in the round, so sorry, one of those countries you are going to be omitted. But let's go ahead and jump into it. So number 1, South Korea, the land of BTS, Blackpink, Parasite, and Squid Games. Naturally, I checked out Seoul, Busan, and Daegu, but I also went to this island known for its tangerines, and it is a popular destination in South Korea.
Now, did you take the train to Busan?
Actually, I did, but there were no zombies.
That is a real shame.
The scariest zombies of any zombie
they're
property.
terrifying.
Do you have any idea? Because I have nothing to add to this.
Tangerine Island, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Tangerine Speedo.
So we're locked in with Tangerine Island.
Jill, I'm guessing you don't know it either.
Geography is kind of a weak point for me, so this could be interesting.
I'm
don't have a guess.
excited to learn because apparently I know less about South Korea than I thought.
Show me Tangerine Island.
Well, that would actually be a very interesting name for it, but it is Jeju Island.
All right.
Now, is that Korean for Tangerine Island?
Don't worry, Jeff. I won't judge you for getting this question wrong.
That's very funny.
Thank
10
you.
points.
I honestly don't know, but maybe it should be.
If it is, in retrospect, we'll give ourselves 10 points later.
All right. Well, next I went to Japan, where I ate a lot of amazing food, many for the first time. I ate my way through Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, pretty much everywhere. I did, for the first time, try these very famous breaded balls that have octopus in them.
We can lock in, Jill.
Jeff has eaten his share of takoyaki, I believe, if you're good with that, Matt.
I'm good. I would have called them breaded octo balls. So
I mean, that was the original name, and then somebody was like, no, let's go takoyaki.
bad branding.
My understanding is that takoyaki is a Osaka street food special, and I
made you have some.
I did enjoy it. So yeah, takoyaki.
And I did not.
You didn't have it. It's not that you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. I enjoyed the smells.
While I don't think it is Japanese for breaded octopus balls, the answer is takoyaki.
Well, it is taco is octopus, and yaki is like cooked, so it's like it's pretty on the nose.
We're close, I guess.
Yeah. I like to call it taco yummy.
Number 3, time to stop in Taiwan, where I went to Taipei and tried a bunch of food there. You're going to see a big theme of me eating food. So I went and checked out one of the former tallest buildings in the world, holding the title from 2004 to 2009. What is that building?
We can lock in, Joe.
I can picture it, Matt, but I don't know the names of buildings.
No
way.
And they change it anyway, right? Willis Tower, Sears Tower.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. So
can't keep up.
One Taiwan Plaza.
It does have a Taiwanese name, as you can imagine. And I believe it also has the highest bell in the world, unless that's been since taken away by some other building. But this is almost definitely Taipei 101.
That was kind of close.
That's what I was saying. It's like you weren't too far off.
I have to say, this trip sounds pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was Taipei 101. Number 4, I loved hiking in Vietnam. The rice paddy steppes were amazing. The food was great. The people were friendly. We actually had guides help us get around and navigate Sapa. Our guides were largely from this ethnic group, which actually has a decent immigrant population in Minnesota and Wisconsin.
I think I can answer this one. Matt.
We're just going out on a limb here. We know there's a lot of Germans in the Midwest, and we thought maybe that was a German colony. We don't know, so we said Germans.
Okay. I think the group that I'm thinking of is most famous for being in and around Detroit, but we're going to say Hmong.
And you are correct. It is the Hmong people.
That was Gran Torino. Thank you. Gran Torino.
Now, if you said Detroit, I would have known. I'm just kidding.
Well, that's why I didn't say it. Because I paid him off.
Smart move.
Number 5, I went to Cambodia to catch up with some friends that I met in 2013 when I did some humanitarian work. I was able to go to Siem Reap for a few days. Siem Reap is home to this famous Hindu Buddhist temple campus.
I'm pretty sure I know this one, Jill. If you're good.
Sure.
Well, if we're talking Cambodia, I know exactly one famous hotel, temple campus. So,
does it also appear on their national flag?
Should we go with Angkor Wat?
It seems like that would be the most prudent choice.
Okay.
Yeah, we're also going to say Angkor Wat.
You have it with Angkor Wat.
All right, quick score recap after 5 in the second round. It is 130 for Mr. Plow and 155 for Katie the Plow.
Still anyone's game.
It's anybody's game, although
it's any Plow's game.
Yeah, you're ahead. We'll say that. But if I know anything about pro wrestling, it's that come from behind victories happen frequently. So,
and you know a lot about pro wrestling.
I know a lot.
I know nothing.
So all these references going right over your head.
All right, so question 6. The beaches in Thailand are among the best I have ever seen. Crystal clear water and amazing islands. I took a boat trip to Phi Phi Island and Phong Nha Bay. Sorry if I mispronounced that. The latter goes by another name in reference to the 1974 Roger Moore film that was partially filmed here. What film franchise was this film from?
So we're
70s
just saying 70s Roger Moore franchise. That's all we. So James Bond.
It's got to be.
Is that
Bond,
too
right?
easy?
I mean,
I'm tempted to overthink this, but I think we'll just say James Bond.
Yeah.
Jill?
That was my thought too.
Sounds pretty right to me.
And trust your gut, because it is known as James Bond Island.
Oh, fun. As a person without a passport, this round makes me really sad. Just saying.
Matt's going on a little vacation right now.
Through the power of imagination.
That's right.
I didn't do a lot of traveling, so I had to do it all like in one bunch to like catch up.
Matt, you weren't at the Bash in Berlin?
I told you I don't have a passport.
I'll stop. That was the last one. I'm done.
So, number 7, I arrived in Malaysia and was able to explore Kuala Lumpur for a little bit. I actually got to visit these towers, which at one point were the tallest buildings in the world and have no known affiliation with Harry Potter. And I'm sorry to say to the people on this podcast, but it did steal the title away from the Sears Tower. Willis
we
Tower.
know.
We remember it. It's scarred into our
this feud runs
memory.
deep.
Yeah.
You guys know it, right?
Oh, I am very anti-antenna.
So it's the Patronus Towers, right, Matt?
I believe so.
Yeah, we agree. We said the Patronus Towers.
See, no, it's not anti-antenna, because if the antennas count, it was because it was a decorative ball.
No. Their antenna is considered structural.
Okay.
And ours is added on after the fact because it's for communications purposes, so it's not part of the intended structure, which is nonsense.
Nonsense.
Justice for Sears.
Exactly. I mean, I'm right there with you. It doesn't make any sense. Number 8, Singapore was incredibly clean, but it had a lot of cool things to see and, as always, great food that I enjoyed. Unfortunately, due to their laws, I was unable to enjoy one of my favorite bad habits. What is
Cocaine?
banned from Singapore?
I do cocaine.
I'm sorry. It was just sitting there. Jay does not do cocaine. I don't know him that well. Probably not, though. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Well,
Yes. No, that's fine. It's funny. And that is actually banned, and they do warn you that they do execute people who bring in drugs into the country. So just fair warning to anybody who's traveling there. But what is banned from Singapore? And don't bother looking under the desk for any of them.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll lock in.
Jill, I think your shirt would have something to say about it.
I have an idea.
Yeah, what do you think?
Is it gum?
I genuinely think it's chewing gum. Yeah. In an effort to keep everything cleaner, I think it's gum.
Yeah. We also said gum.
And you both are correct. You cannot buy chewing gum in Singapore, though supposedly you can get prescription chewing gum. So
Not the death penalty for the gum, though, right?
no, but you might get caned. I don't know if they stopped doing that in the 90s. I don't know.
Oh my God.
So don't chew gum.
Prescription chewing gum is just like regular chewing gum.
That's what happens when people try to chew gum and podcast in the studio at the same time. Like, are you chewing gum right now? And it's a caning.
Oh, that's caning.
Number 9, Australian Christmases are wild. I grew up in Texas, but even I am not used to a hot Christmas. Australia has some interesting slang, such as referring to Christmas as Chrissy. There are other slang words such as brekkie for breakfast or cobber for good friend. If an Australian were to ask to see thongs, what were they wanting to see?
Yeah. Not Cisco. Yeah. It's not Cisco, Ken.
You guys are locked in?
I'm pretty comfortable, Jill. Do you want to trust me on it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are we talking about the famous sandal?
Sandals. Yeah. I think they're sort of flippy floppy.
It's also impolite to ask to see people's feet, though. So, yeah, we're saying sandals.
You usually got to pay for that.
Yeah, you want to say sandals, not sandos, because those are sandwiches.
Okay.
So,
All right, sandals all the way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you are all correct. It is sandals.
Home of Jamaica's largest freshwater pool.
Thank you.
Not a sponsor.
Sandals, Jamaica.
Just an obscure Office reference.
I feel like most of my Australian slang comes from like Bluey these days.
Bluey is a great TV show. And
It is fabulous.
Do your dogs like it?
You know, I haven't tried it with them yet, but it is animated in yellow and blue primarily so that dogs don't suffer from the color blindness that they normally do. So it's actually animated in their...
For dogs, by dogs.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yep.
I did not know that. Even the trivia host learned something today. While I haven't been everywhere on Earth, I have to say New Zealand has some amazing natural beauty. I went skydiving and I got to see where the original Lord of the Rings trilogy was filmed. Fun fact, New Zealand has the southernmost capital in the world. What is the capital of New Zealand?
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Is it Wellington or Auckland? I can never remember.
Home of the beef, Wellington.
Wellington.
Yep. Jill, I think they're right. I think it's Wellington.
I trust that.
And you're both correct. It is Wellington, though a lot of people will say Auckland. So
I've heard Reykjavik is, I believe, the northernmost, which you and I have enjoyed. And I'll be doing my winter holidays.
In the southernmost?
In the southernmost this year.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, that concludes round 2. We took a little trip around the world there, and I enjoyed it. We are at 180 after that, and Katie, the plow is at 205, so we got a little work to do in the final round. Before we get to that, just one last reminder to check us out on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or as I sometimes say, $1 a day. You can do that.
You can actually check us out for free. You can just go on and you can subscribe to the pod for no money. All you will get is announcements about all the wonderful content that is available to you
for $5
for $5 and up.
So if you want to do that, you can. But we'd prefer $1 a month at least. That'd be great.
You get no ads, which is a real deal as far as we're concerned, and it helps us out, which we're grateful for. So,
and if you go higher than that, we'll send you some stuff in the mail.
Oh, and you know what? I forgot. I posted early. So if you want early access to all of the regular feed episodes, like the day before,
just can't wait till
with
Tuesday.
no ads. I feel like, we really owe our patrons a debt of gratitude, so I want to pay that back.
Yeah, and we thank all of our patrons, especially the two that are on this episode, Jay and Gill. Thanks so much. Let's go on to the final round. Let's have the categories, see what we're up against.
All right. So I will give you the categories. And this one is all about Japanese role-playing games, which are one of the few games out there where mission number one is usually delivering something to a village, and the final mission is to kill God. So you've got to love you've got to love the range that those games cover.
Sorry, my reaction was based solely on the fact that that's exactly how I would describe it. The final mission is to kill God.
Accurate.
So in the same vein of the King of the Hill one, these will be themed after games, but not directly about them. So the question one will be Final Fantasy. Question two will be Tales series. Question three will be Persona. Question four will be Suikoden. And question five will be Xeno series.
All right, so the wagers are now in. It's going to be 30s all the way down for both teams, making it anyone's game. I advised the other team that that's a mathematically bad decision, but they said we're sticking to it. So thank you for your sportsmanship.
I don't need math to make bad decisions.
Quote of the day. Jay, let's get these questions.
All right, so question one, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is one of the oldest gaming franchises, starting in 1987. In 2017, they celebrated their 30th anniversary. In Tokyo, which, by the way, is not in Europe, this building was lit blue for a night to look like a crystal in honor of this milestone. What's the name of the building? Question two, Tales. The Tales series is a popular series by Bandai Namco and has been around since 1995. It is called the Tales series as each game is called Tales of something. The first game shared a name with a Disney classic that introduced us to Chernobog. Question three, Persona. The Persona series has become a very popular series with a strong fan base. There have been 5 mainline games, with the 6th one rumored. This game borrows heavily from the works of the Swiss founder of the School of Analytical Psychology. Question 4, Suikoden. Suikoden is a classic which gained new popularity recently with the release of its spiritual successor and the announcements of remasters. It is loosely based on the classic novel The Water Margin, or also called The Outlaws of the Marsh. This book is often grouped with the books The Dream of the Red Chamber, Journey to the West, and The Romance of the Three Kingdoms. These 4 novels are considered the 4 classic novels of what country? And finally, the Xeno series. The Xeno series is a game that gained a lot of steam as of late. In fact, its most recent release, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, was nominated for Game of the Year. The first game, though, Xenosaga, while it had a cult following, never saw mainstream success. A fun fact is that the story for Xenosaga was originally pitched to be the story of another game, but the studio decided to go in a different direction. What game was it pitched for? This game had characters like Barrett and Red 13, enemies like Ruby and Emerald Weapon, and the first part takes place in a city called Midgar.
I'm glad that question took a turn at the end for us. We will be right back and see who will be today's cream of the crop.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. Brake kits, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time. Plus, at these prices, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
ABC Wednesday. It's the premiere everyone is talking about.
I'm Joan, and I'm your first Golden Bachelorette.
Loves getting a second chance.
When you're 61 years old, you have very few opportunities to change your life. I have to be ready.
The Golden Bachelorette is proving romance never ages.
I represent millions of people in their golden years looking for love.
The Golden Bachelorette.
I am ready to find the next great love of my life.
Series premiere Wednesday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Hello? Hey, Mom. What dog food do you feed Daisy? Daisy gets Blue Buffalo, life protection formula. I see Iams. Can I just grab that? Well, what are the ingredients? Let's see. It's chicken, ground whole grain corn, ground whole grain sorghum, chicken byproduct meal. What about Blue? Chicken meal, brown rice, oatmeal, barley. Okay, I'll grab Blue Buffalo. Thanks, Mom.
Switch to Blue Life Protection Formula and feed your dog like family.
And all the answers are now locked in. It's time to determine who will be today's cream of the crop with these final 5 questions. And there will be 30 points on each question. All right, so let's hear the first question again.
So the first question, Final Fantasy, for its 30th anniversary, this building was turned blue.
So you referenced it's not in Europe. I think it's because the Tokyo Tower resembles the Eiffel Tower. So we said Tokyo Tower.
Jill?
Yeah, we said the same thing. Tokyo Tower.
And they did light up the Tokyo Tower. Question 2, Tales is popular. The first game shared the name with a Disney classic that introduced Chernobog.
Yeah, I believe Chernobog is that thing at the end of Fantasia, so we said Fantasia.
And Jill, you said you're a pretty big Disney fan.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have for this one?
We agreed that it's the thing at the end of Fantasia.
And the game was called Tales of Fantasia. Persona borrows heavily from the works of this Swiss founder of the School of Analytical Psychology.
We were going Jung, Freud, Jung, and we went with Jung.
We agree.
I think Freud is Austrian.
We said Carl Jung.
Carl Jung was obsessed with the concept of the persona, so that is correct. Number 4, Suikoden is based on one of the 4 classic novels of what country?
We said China.
And we agree. We also put China.
Those are the 4 classic countries, or 4 classic novels of China. And the final one, Xenosaga, which was the first game in the Xeno series, was originally pitched to be the story of what game with Barrett, Red 13, Ruby, Emerald Weapon, taking place in Midgar at the beginning?
Jeff, you want to say it together?
Phoenix Down.
Ready? Final Fantasy 7.
It's 7?
Oh, that's... I was like, I'm just going to let him keep saying 8
Oh,
over
no!
here.
It was so hard for me to keep a straight face when you were saying that it is indeed Final Fantasy 7.
And remake and
It
rebirth.
was tough. It was tough to hear. I'm sorry.
You're so confident too. You're like, yeah,
because we played both. We played them back to back. If you recall,
We never finished 7 though. I only made it to.
Wow, spoilers.
Wow, spoilers
for the Final Fantasy reboot.
Spoiler for a 25-year-old game.
Well, the results are in, and Katie the Snowplow plowing through did a great game, 295 to finish, but in Matt and Ken-like fashion, we win on a Final Fantasy question. It's 330 for us, making us today's cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.
Matt, would you like a award that sparkles or shimmers? That's my question to you. That's a very deep Final Fantasy VII reference.
Can I get a Phoenix down?
You can get a Phoenix down for the next episode and try again. But we want to thank Gill for competing with Jeff. That was an excellent game. You guys were ahead for the whole game, and you played excellently. So, any final shout outs for you?
I just want to thank my family because anytime I get a message from you guys, they not only support me coming on, but they encourage me to come on, which is awesome because they know how much I love trivia. And in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other.
Very good advice. We appreciate that. And Jay, thanks for the game and the Final Fantasy question to finish off there. Your check is in the mail. Any final shout outs for you?
Sure. So if you are in San Francisco and you love pub trivia, you should come down to my favorite spot, the Gambit Lounge in Hayes Valley. And you can omit this if it's too dark or whatever, but September is Suicide Prevention Month. So please check in on anybody you care about, because let's take this topic out of the darkness and care about each other.
Absolutely. Thank you for that great message.
No, not at all. In fact, one of the things that I think of and I support is I know a couple people in my family are doing the Chicagoland Walk this fall with was it AFSP? Yeah.
Yep.
So definitely a worthwhile cause.
I've done that myself in the past. So yeah, if you can sign up, donate, and it's a great cause. So that'll do it for today's episode. Once again, I want to thank our guests today for joining us. Neil's writing away somewhere with his quill and his ink well. But we also need to thank Airwave Media before we go. And they have other great podcasts available, such as Emotional Badass, The Film Vault, and IGN Movies. So if you want to check out any of those, please go to airwavemedia.com. And that'll do it for today's show. For Matt, Neil, somewhere, Jeff, and myself, that was Triviality.